On BBC Radio 4, The Late Book. In 1975, Sam Shepard was hired as a writer to work on a proposed film of Bob Dylan's secret Rolling Thunder Revue tour of the northeast of America. Nathan Osgood now reads the third part of his book, recording that tour.
Rolling Thunder Logbook by Sam Shepard. This book has taken on such a fractured form, not for the sake of art or experimentation, but rather because the form is a direct outcome of a fractured memory. The purpose of the book isn't to reveal a plodding blow-by-blow account of the sequence of events, or to play peekaboo with the private lives of the stars, but just to give the reader a taste of the whole experience. If that happens, the book is alive. Part 3. University of New Hampshire. Neworth's street gang punk band is tighter than ever. It's like each guy on his own is a whole band. In fact, every one of them has his own band on the side somewhere. Then Dylan, in white face, messing with the phrasing, twisting up the rhythm structure, elongating the lines to the point where you think he'll never make it. He'll never fit the thing into the music. Then, at the last minute, it all slides together. Ronson pulling classic country and western licks out of nowhere. Then Dylan becomes a Haitian devil dancer on ISIS, holding his hat like it's about to take off in a tornado.
I knew right away he was not ordinary.
He creates a third body and sends it up to the ceiling, watching it hang helplessly from the rafters. Stoner comes knifing in on harmony, everything held firm inside the chopping 6/8 time, like one of those ancient country fiddle tunes. Scarlett Rivera, sailing high over the top, sawing at the violin as though she were passing a harpoon through the eye of a needle. Dylan with a diamond earring dripping down his neck, with his hard cowboy heel driving down onto the stage below. As I'm watching this heel of his and seeing the precision of it and hearing the way it resonates clear down through the floor, up through his body, through the song, into the microphone, and out into the hall, it suddenly flashes on me that this thing is way beyond pop music. This thing is ancient ritual. The snake dance of the Hopi, before the government sent spies out there with cameras and tape recorders, had, at the heart of it, the idea that the dancers were messengers from this world, sending for help to the spirits of another world, a world below the earth, inhabited by snakes. The medium was the dancer's heel as it pounded down in a steady rhythm and sent its human vibration to the ones below. If the heel was heard, then the prayer was answered, usually in the form of a rainstorm. Rolling thunder is making a sound.
To the pyramids, all embedded in ice.
A concert audience has a face. It looks worked upon, wild-eyed, stimulated from a distant source like a laboratory experiment. The only protected space is up on stage. Dylan says it's the only time he feels alone, when he's up there, when he's free to work his magic. No one can touch him. No one can sidle up, pretending it's all just an accidental encounter, and pick his brains, his heart, his skin, his flesh and blood. Who is he anyway? What's the source of his power? An apparition? What kind of person moves like that? Stiff-necked from his harmonica brace, alternate rocking side to side, keeping equal time on each foot. Now the ragged brown cowboy boots take on the look of huge crow's feet, a buzzard's legs. He turns into a rooster, a fighting bantam cock, his head outsized for the body, white, shoulders hunched like a flyweight boxer, jeans falling down his hips, dancing backward into black space, walking completely out of the picture, hiding behind Black Rob Stoner, disappearing before their very eyes, re-emerging, arriving at the mic the very last fraction of a second, at a moment when any other performer on earth would have already blown it. Then wham! It's on them before the shock can even register. Harmonica cuts the air like his phantom brother. The audience is busted. Their skulls can't take it. The harp sound is awesome in its lonely courage. Here is the magician, before their eyes. But now it's not the eyes that see him. Fans are more dangerous than a man with a weapon because they're after something invisible. Some imagine something. At least with a gun, you know what you're facing. Strange fear comes over me that the audience might actually devour Dylan and the band. It seems that close. I'm afraid for them. Just the thought that I might be a witness to it. They make a sound together like a primitive rumble. They crush styrofoam cups. They chew on blankets, bottles smashing in every corner. I'm getting out fast, into the night. Hospitality Inn. Stuck away in a corner of this neuterized hellhole is a small room with a sign on the door saying Games Room. Everyone has migrated to it like a refuge. Joni Mitchell is cross-legged on the floor, barefoot, writing something in a notebook. She bites her lip and looks over to Rick Danko, who's smashing the shit out of a pinball machine with both kneecaps, then pounding on the sides with both fists. Insane games of air hockey, pucks flying across the room and landing on somebody's pool table. The high spirit of competition has seized us all. We keep getting stuck in motels that are miles from anywhere. The reasons for this seem to be mostly security, but after a while, the cut-offness of it starts to take its toll. The concert is given in some kind of a city. The audience gets ripped with energy and bursts into the night streets with it. Then we sneak off in unmarked vehicles, secret agent style, wind our way through narrow back roads, and find ourselves in another prefabricated wonder resort. This constant strike and retreat style really starts to work on your psyche after a while. The world out there takes on a strange unreality, as though it's all being played in a different ballpark, in another league. You either feel above it or below it, or way off to the side of it, but never a part of it. Headlines in the paper seem like messages delivered from outside the walls, even headlines that feature the people on the tour. There's nothing that reveals the total myth of newspaper journalism more than being inside the world of the subject being written about. You find yourself expanding to the smell of arrogant power or deflating to total depression. You begin wishing you could just go back into the kitchen with the waiter and wash a few dishes, or even go back home with him and watch color TV with his grandmother. Anything just to get the taste back of normal everyday life. Then everything filters away to the elevators, to music, to another marathon night to the break of day. On the road to Lowell. Halfway to the cemetery to visit Kerouac's grave, Tony pulls out a tape recorder and a special tape. This thing was recorded at the bar. I don't think anyone outside the family's ever heard it. He snaps the cassette into place, and suddenly there's the voice of Jack, speaking like a ghost over time. Ginsberg listens with a smile. There it is, right inside a station wagon, captured in his hometown, the rasping, whacked-out voice of Kerouac himself. He's obviously ripped on something because the associations are non-stop. The midnight ghost, good codeine, howling round the bend. Jockeys all ride away in Cadillacs. Fields full of potatoes. Santa Clara Valley. Morgan Hill. Dipping into the pass. Cement factory. Looks like Kafka. Lettuce bowl of the world. All you gotta do is get an airplane. Fill it with mayonnaise. Fly over and drop it. Now you shoot up toward the high school. We swing into the graveyard through black iron gates. Fresh graves being dug. Old names on rock. Mahoney, O'Keefe, Kilmartin, Benoit, Tai Ji. We stop. Allen quotes from Kerouac's favorite Shakespeare. How like a winter hath my absence been. What freezings have I felt. What dark days seen. What old December's bareness everywhere. It's right close to the time of year he died. Trees sticking up naked, blankets of blowing leaves. Dylan and Ginsberg perched close to the ground, cross-legged, facing this tiny marble plaque half buried in the grass. Ty Jean, Little Jack. John L. Kerouac, March 12, 1922 to October 21st, 1969. He honored life. Dylan's tuning up his Martin while Ginsberg causes his little shoebox harmonium to breathe out notes across the lawn. Soon, a slow blues takes shape, with each of them exchanging verses, then Allen moving into an improvised poem to the ground, to the sky, to the day, to Jack, to life, to music, to the worms, to bones, to travel, to the states. I try to look at both of them head on, with no special ideas of who or what they are, but just to try to see them there in front of me. They emerge as simple men with a secret aim in mind, each of them opposite, but still in harmony, alive and singing to the dead and living, sitting flat on the earth, above bones, beneath trees, and hearing what they hear. Dylan's hands, white, wrinkled, double-jointed little finger, long nails hovering over Allen's harmonium like a tentacle animal, weathered, milky leather hands that tell more than his face about music and where he's been. Ancient, demonic.
Tomorrow night at the same time, the Rolling Thunder Logbook continues. Sam Shepard escapes the madness of the tour to see the punk band The Tubes play. But far from it providing relief for him, it leads to more confusion as he wonders whether Dylan, his band, and he himself are not now part of the older generation. Rolling Thunder Logbook was abridged by Peter Everett, read by Nathan Osgood, and produced in Bristol by Mark Jobst.